Hey, Naeem. Thanks for joining us today. We're gearing up for our fourth season of Valorem Visions, our annual video series where we talk to SMEs across our Valorem business and talk about trends that they believe will shape inside of the coming year. And now that we're entering into 2026, I think it's a perfect time of year to really start diving into security, which is why you're here. So I appreciate you joining us today. And I think today we're going to talk about DSPM and data security for AI. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience?
Of course. Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm happy to be here on Valorem Visions for the first time. My name is Naeem Mohammed. I'm a security consultant with Valorem Reply, and I work specifically on our data security projects. And DSPM for AI is, of course, an extremely important and increasingly important topic. So I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. And this year we're kind of switching things up. I'm going to be hosting. I'm Andrew Brower. I manage our customer success team within Valorem SI. And so I'm going to ask you a couple questions today. We're going to go through um, the technology. How do we use it? Why is it important? Why should we be thinking about this as we kind of go into the evolution of AI and agents and how we use those inside of industries. To start things off, I want to start doing kind of a fun event. While all of us have started doing prompting and agents and having it draw funny things for us, I want to have Naeem, I want you to go and spend about 1 minute, and I think we're going to bring up a whiteboard, and
Let's do
I
that.
want you to draw out DSPM in data security as if you were trying to explain it to a fifth grader.
Okay, so I'm going to start off here. And I think with AI, a lot of us are familiar with, let's get that 1 minute going. A lot of us are familiar with like the idea of a person prompting, the AI. So we'll start off with
Sure.
like our little character here, perhaps. So let's go ahead here. Got our little person here. This here will be Bob or whoever.
Bob's
Bob
the agent.
Bob in this case, just the user. We'll just have Bob be the user.
Okay. All right.
Prompting the AI machine. Bob wants to access some specific information from a file. So, Bob is asking the solution. Can I have access to this information? What's in this file? And then here we'll have our little AI. And our little AI is going to kind of assess that, and it's going to actually respond back with no. And I think that really sums up, DSPM for AI. It's specifically protecting sensitive information because what Bob is asking for is in a file that he does not have access to and he should not have any access to. So he goes to ask the AI solution about information in that file. He should be turned down immediately.
So it's the holiday season. So Bob's our 5-year-old. He's trying to use Copilot to get to know what gifts he's getting in the holiday season. And mom and dad have put in the right permissions with DSPM to deny all requests inside the home to get uh, access to the Christmas list. So I love that, Naeem.
Okay.
That's good example. Thank you.
Mm.
We'll throughout the season we're gonna compare drawings with our other guests. So we'll see how yours ranks at the end of the season on the drawings.
We'll see, we'll see. I usually am a fan favorite,
You
sometimes.
did good. You did good. You did good. Appreciate it. All right. So getting into DSPM and data security. What is it in a nutshell?
So when it comes to DSPM, well, really, the whole reason DSPM really exists is and it stands specifically for Data Security Posture Management. And I know our conversation is specifically around AI. But when it
Sure.
comes to our modern data landscape, Andrew, I'm sure you have information across multiple services, multiple
Absolutely. Yep.
clouds, this company, that company, this email, that email, etc. Information's all over the place. However, with it being in different places in your environment, it can be really hard to secure, really hard to keep an eye on. So data security posture management is assessing your data across these different environments and assessing what is sensitive, what is not sensitive, who has access to what data, and what data may or may not be in compliance with your organization's regulations.
Sure. So as we think about this at an enterprise level, right, is we're going through and cataloging our SharePoint sites, our intranet storage,
Yep.
stuff like that. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Exactly. SharePoint sites, your intranet, Exchange, OneDrive, any of your documents and files, emails, all of that. All of that comes together. And what you'll do for data security posture management specifically is you'll assess your files and essentially come up with a baseline as to what may be sensitive information within your organization. For example, we
Sure.
come across a lot of organizations that may have customer ID numbers or employee ID numbers or common things like a credit card number or an address or things that may be in files that you
Sure.
may not know is there. So the
Yeah.
important thing is to gain visibility into where is this sensitive information, what files are they in, and then treating those files differently now knowing that they have that sensitive information in them.
Sure. No, that makes sense, Naeem.
Mhm.
So I get a lot of questions from outside customers and clients. And as we get into this AI, data security and governance is a huge topic, right? And a lot of people are burdened by the fact that, hey, we've got a lot of files in SharePoint. Do I have to go through every file and mark everything? How does that work with this? Is it a global setting that you can do pattern matching? That it analyzes the documents. What does that process look like? If I don't have the structure, I haven't been going through and properly tagging documents with security labels, etc. What kind of dive into that process when using this tool inside of Purview?
Well, thank goodness we do not need to go file by file. I'm sure
Oh, that's
even
great.
just in the span of this conversation, some organizations will have generated gigabytes of data just in a few minutes. So it's
Sure,
not really
absolutely.
possible to keep up with if that were the case. So instead, we leverage tools such as Microsoft Purview, and Microsoft Purview has a variety of solution cards and tools that we can leverage, such as sensitive information types and trainable classifiers. Those sensitive information types, for example, we can create different information types based off of what those sensitive info pieces I mentioned earlier may look like. You know, an employee number at this company may be a number, something, 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 or this letter, that letter. Or there may be, we may need to look specifically for a type of credit card number or a passport number or addresses, things of that nature. So we can use those sensitive information types. Some of them come with Purview and some of them you can create based off of your own company's needs. You can use those and essentially check your entire environment across using this sensitive information type and begin to flag where that sensitive information is in your environment.
Got it. Okay, great. Yeah. So with people out there worried about saying, "Hey, we can't do this. We don't have time to go and catalog and categorize all our documents." You're saying that there's cards and there's methodologies to be able to do that easily within Purview, and specifically DSPM as well.
Absolutely. It just takes a
Okay.
little bit of thinking what type of information should we maybe be looking for? What could be sensitive in our organization? And then
Yeah,
from there, it's just telling Purview what to look for and letting it go and find what you need.
got it. So, does it also surface where those documents are at inside of there?
Yes, and what you can do is you can go on a case by case basis, or you can look at larger groups of documents and see, oh, there are a lot of sensitive files maybe associated with this SharePoint link, or one specific scenario could be broad access, for example. So a search, for example, could turn that a SharePoint site has sensitive information and is also widely available to a lot of the organization. And you can use that information then to triage because, of course, you can't do everything all at once, right? Some things
Sure.
will take priority.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it at least surfaces the document so you can begin to get on top of your governance of documents inside of there as well, right? And
Correct.
even bring out if you find social security numbers or account numbers within a document, you can surface those and even kind of do a cursory scan to see if there's any other sensitive data within those documents that you may need to also filter for.
Absolutely, and you can install in a program in code words that your organization uses, like some may use the word sensitive or confidential for
Sure.
confidential documents, and it can establish a pattern and a baseline based off of all of the documents it sees.
Perfect. Awesome. So DSPM is a part of Purview. You don't necessarily have to enable it. Could you talk to why it may be important to enable DSPM inside of Purview?
Well, it's important. Well, for one, everyone who has a Purview suite already has DSPM. It's already you're already paying for it. It's already there and available to you. It's important even if you aren't fully aware yet as to what sensitive information you may have. There are some built-in functions just to get you started on initiating those searches, on creating a basic data taxonomy, sensitive information taxonomy. So you can really just get started looking for the basics. Again, like those built-in sensitive information types are there. So because there's so much already built into Purview and built into DSPM from the start that you don't necessarily need to program in yourself, it makes, perfect sense just to get started with it and use the tool that you have.
Awesome, awesome. So for people looking to get started, right? You mentioned that it is part of E5 is you get it with Purview. How else can you get it? How do you get started? How does somebody loving hearing what you're saying here dive in and get started?
Well, again, as you mentioned there, it is included with if you don't have an E5, you can add on the Purview suite to an free. And
Okay.
from there, it actually walks you through fairly quickly all of the solution cards. When you first turn on Purview, there's a welcome experience and it allows you or encourages you to turn on auditing to begin searching your environment to start finding trends for how data is shared within your environment to enable the rest of the Purview suite to work as well.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. Awesome. So, kind of wrapping up a little bit here, Naeem, how does your security group, if I were an outside client coming in, what is your kind of final thoughts on this? What would an engagement look like with yourself on helping me really start to classify my data, get on top of it, and really what does that enable me to do now? As we also mentioned, getting into AI, right? Everybody's getting into AI, building agents, etc. If I start classifying this, what kind of stress free worries does it create for me?
Say the great news about the work that we do here at Valorem Reply is that our approach, I think, is by far the best. We sit the customer down. We take a look and just kind of, for one, we have a discussion as to where you are with your current data security posture. Maybe you've already gotten started. Maybe you've tinkered with a few things. Maybe you haven't. It's all about understanding where you are first before we can then, jump off. Once we get a better understanding of where you are, we'll take a look at your environment. We'll go through and kind of see what's been implemented, what's been turned on, what's not been turned on, what features you are or aren't using, how you're using them. And an important thing that we also like to stress is working over the shoulder often with customers so that we can train them on how to use the tools themselves as well. We want to empower you to, of course, be able to improve your security posture yourself using using a lot of Purview's tools down the line. So we want to make sure you have that knowledge to tweak your data taxonomy to add new sensitive information types and just an overall improve your usage of the tool as time goes on as new features are rolled out. So we definitely like to engage in a sort of teaching fashion and ensure that you have all the information you need to go forward, not just for that one engagement, but in the future as well.
No, that's great. I think having a ACM proponent, right, to security is super important, right? Because if you're coming in, you're bringing an outside consultancy in to do all the things, and they eventually go away, that security posture is going to dwindle down, right? And
Exactly.
if they don't know how to use the tools that they're paying for, it'll just end up biting them in the butt down the road, right? If they don't know how to configure, how to monitor, how to stay on top of things. Just like enterprises today never would have thought that they would have had so much data stored in SharePoint and OneDrive and all of these locations, right? That same thing happens in security too, right? And so having that education proponent is huge. That's great, Naeem. Well, Naeem, thank you for your time.
Course.
How can we reach you if people want to reach out and learn more about DSPM and data security?
So by all means, our Valorem website is the best way to go forward and reach us. Certainly, we have our security section on that website, and there should be a form for you to fill out at the bottom of that website to get in contact with us. Our salespeople will be able to take you from there.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks again for all the great information, Naeem, and we'll catch you next time. And hopefully Bob doesn't get a part of his Christmas list.
No, no, no.
Take care.
Thank you.